Hi, my name's Amy Rogers. I am Adam Rogers' wife, and most of you know my sweet baby Isaiah, and I'm just going to share with you a little bit about the gospel at work through our hurts and some different things that happened in my life. In 2006, I was going back to school to work on my master's, and I was staying in Birmingham with my sister, and it was July 31st, and I had gone and ran some errands and was going back to my sister's apartment. And at that time, I was getting out of the car and a man approached me with a gun. I gave him all the stuff that I had that he needed, and my first thought was, oh my gosh, what if something happens in the woods? They're going to find your dead body. So I said, okay, God, show me a safe place to jump out. I had my hand on the door, looked this guy straight in the eyes, and then I jumped out of the car. And when I got out, I was on the ground and I was like, man, I'm really hurting. Like maybe I've broken something, and I had a white t-shirt on, and I looked down and I had realized there was blood and that I had been shot. Went through exploratory surgery, and I lost my left kidney and my spleen, damaged my, all in all, a month in the hospital, and I was terrified to stay by myself. I was babysat. My wonderful mother-in-law and my mom took care of me. Pretty much to have a baby, and they said if we weren't pregnant in 3 months to come back, given my medical history, and we weren't pregnant 6 months, we weren't pregnant, and we kept going through different treatments, and then finally in April of 2010, they were pretty much just like 2009. They were like, there's no chance of you having children, and I felt so horrible, like the emotional hurt. I tell people, I said, I would honestly rather be shot again than for somebody to tell me that a dream of mine has been taken away. It finally took me over a year to finally completely give it to the Lord, because I kept saying, okay, God, I'm going to give this to you, but I'm going to do this on my own to try to fix it, to make somebody pick us. And in September of 2010, I said, okay, God, it was one Sunday morning at church, and I laid it all down at the altar, and I said, I'm sorry for trying to fix it myself. I give it completely to you. And then a couple weeks later, I hear from my cousin about a lady that she teaches with whose daughter's pregnant, and they would like to place the child for adoption. Then a couple weeks later, we kept talking. We met them in October. And then the very next day, she said that she wanted us to have her child. And that was the most amazing feeling in the world. God had a better plan in mind all along, and it just took me finally surrendering it to Him for Him to let it come to fruition. And you want to see it? So many wonderful things have happened from this that I've gotten the opportunity to share at numerous churches and women's conferences. I ended up finding out later that my family members and other church members had the opportunity to witness to others that were in this waiting room with other people who had been shot or stabbed or other things like that. And they said, why are y'all smiling? Like, why are you not upset? And they got to explain to them about the peace that only God can provide. I actually had the opportunity to go to the sentencing for the man who shot me. So I was sharing with the judge, and I turned and I looked at him straight in the eye, and I said, I want you to know that I forgave you when you shot me, and then I pray that you would find forgiveness with the Lord too. Last thing that I want to mention, that I have no idea where it even came from. I found it on a slip of paper in our basement, and it said, when you're going through trials and troubles and you feel like God's not there, when you can't trace His hand, trust His heart.